see the cars taking just 2 pace laps before we go green. So let's get right to the starting grid. And we're talking about Ruben Pardo. This is the same car that he won with last year and that Patrick Carpentier drove in the Busch race in Montreal. On row 2, it is Mike Olson and Mike Johnson, who's been a part-time runner this year in the series. More about Olson in a moment as he's starting his 200th consecutive race today. Row 3, Max Dumouriez, along with Sean Case. Dumouriez, I think, might be a surprise today.
Well, Dumouriez was really excited. You know, it's the first time here. He said, man, I'm really taking to this racetrack. It's just a racetrack that I really feel good about for a driver. That's very, very important.
Brian Chu and James Busher out of Plano, Texas. Every time we've seen him, he has done great things. There's Joey Logano, the points leader, back on row 5, along with Rogelio Lopez, who won at Nashville this year.
Joey not totally excited. He said, I'm not sure what I'm missing. I felt a good lap there when I qualified, but we're just still a little short.
Herman Quiroga and Jerry Marquis on row 6. Row 7, Chase Austin, one of those rookies, and Jeff Anton's had a couple of good finishes here. Row 8, Peyton Sellers and Jeffrey Earnhardt, the guys who haven't seen this road course before today, but there are a lot of guys like that.
Well, it's a new world. We talked about it earlier in the show that, you know, a lot of these guys have never been here, probably half the field or more, so it's going to be a real experience. It's going to be exciting for these guys here today.
John Salemi out of New Hampshire on row 10, along with Larry Maloney, who is an SCCA driver driving Larry Gallo's car, and he's won a lot of races here in Lime Rock Park. Row 11, Jesus Hernandez and Eddie McDonald, part-time runner, but he won at Stafford earlier in the season. On row 12, Michelle Theriot and James Pritchard Jr. 13th row, Jerry Oakley, Jonathan Smith, Dion Ciccarelli and Scott Booley on row 14, and Jason Cochran on row 15. A couple of cars are going to have to go to the back of the field, Dan, and that includes Sean Case along with the Eddie McDonald car, 48. But Sean Case, they've had some problems here since they've been here. Had to change the transmissions.
Yep, and you know, it's probably a really good thing they found that out now rather than during the race, because it would surely put them out of the race. A lot of times you'll lose a tooth on one of the gears in the transmission, or possibly one of the cogs or a bearing or something. So, you know, finding that early. I know he's got to start in the back, but if he uses patience, which Andy Santero will be on the radio preaching that to him here all day, he'll be back up towards the front before the end of the day.
And we just saw also that, as you see, there's the 44 car of Sean Case dropping to the back. Jonathan Smith, a rookie, has dropped to the back. You know, if you don't have a lot of experience on a road course, and this is one tough road course to drive, probably a pretty good move. There's that yellow car right behind Sean Case of Jonathan Smith. We will start the race double file, but this is the only double file start we'll see all day.
Yeah, it'll go single file from this point on after we start this initial start of the race, which is a good move. This is a very, very skinny, tight racetrack, especially entering turn 1 through turn 2. It's very skinny. It's really hard to pass, so it'll save a lot of equipment to go single file rather than side by side, Mike.
These guys won't be allowed to change tires, but they will have to make a fuel stop before this race is over.
Yep, you're talking to a lot of the teams, 15 to 20 laps is that window. If you can get in after 15 laps, they feel they can make it to the end, depending on the cautions. But most crew chiefs would like to see at least 20 laps of green flag race and then come in, get fuel. You'll be good to the end.
Eddie McDonald's got a radio issue. He's on pit road. He's going to have to go to the back anyway, but they have had that radio issue since early this morning. They have been working on it, and boy, it's pretty hard to race around here without your spotters telling you what's going on.
Oh, you're exactly right.
Especially on that uphill where it's really blind going up the hill.
Oh, it's very scary, especially at speed. We're running close to 100 mile an hour. As you run up that hill, you drop off there, and man, you really don't know what's on the other side of that hill. So you got to have spotters. In this race, Mike, NASCAR said mandatory 3 spotters.
Well, you just saw them go under the bridge. That's coming down the downhill. Now here they are on the straightaway. Pace car is pulled off, and we're ready to go green and get this Mohegan Sun 200 underway.
Green, 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 green. Outside. All clear, bud, all clear. Clear by 1, clear by 2.
That's the word from the spotter of Matt Kobalak. Look at Rogelio Lopez passing on the outside.
Yeah, brake lock up there. He back got sideways and lost a race car, but he's able to hold on to it.
That's the big bend they're coming around now, and before they get to come uphill through the S's, then the no-name straight. Kind of feeling their way around on this first lap, and Matt Kovaluk shows he knows the way around.
Matt is very good at this racetrack. They found found some new stuff here the last time they tested. He's doing a little bit more shifting than most of these guys in this racetrack.
Here's the west bend, and that's a pretty hard right-hander. Matter of fact, there is only one left-hand turn that they make in an entire lap around here, and that's very unusual for what these stock cars normally do.
Well, it is, and we set them up totally different than we normally would because we're so used to turning left-hand turns. They just had to change the whole setup on these race cars.
First of 82 laps now on the books. Matt Kovaluk, Ruben Pardo, and Mike Johnson is running third. Johnson out of Salisbury, Mass. in the 96 car.
Mike Olson running fourth there. Brian Chu fifth. Again, important for these guys to get single file. Exactly what's happened here. Get strung out, fill your race car out because there's really not enough room for two cars on this racetrack except down that long front straightaway.
Brian Chu and Mike Olson, that's the best fourth place right now. Olson, as we told you, his 200th consecutive start. He's had that Little Tree sponsor for a decade now. This Olson's final year in this NASCAR Grand National East Series. He'll be a car owner next year.
Ruben Pardo just hanging right on to Matt Kovaluk. Early in the day, early in the race, you guys got to take care of their equipment, not be too aggressive and abuse the brakes on these cars. It's very important not to overheat these brakes.
Or overuse the tires because you can't change tires and you need to have a little something left at the end. So a lot of drivers were telling me in the garage that was going to be important to them. Take care of those tires.
Big deal for a driver not to spin the tires, not to slide them front tires as you have corner entry right through here. Don't oversteer that car and don't slide them tires. You got to take care of them. Got 82 laps to go here. It's real important to have tires at the end.
We saw him come up that hill there. When you go from the driver's perspective, it's almost a blind hill to come up. You see those rumble strips, they will run over those, and it really doesn't upset the car too much. Now, we went around in the passenger car, and boy, like to shook him to death.
Well, it did. And coming up over that hill, Mike, just like you said, it is a blind spot. Talking to Matt Kovaluk here, testing last year, he hit two deers on the top of that hill.
Well, there's one car who is off the pace. Looks like maybe an engine problem. It is Herman Quiroga out of Mexico City. Quiroga's a good road course driver. He's leading the NASCAR Mexico Oval Series, but he told me yesterday that they were just having all kinds of problems. Troy Williams' own car, and he is not happy as it looks like he'll be the first car out. No caution out on the track right now.
Tough break for Quiroga. He's raced in Mexico in the Busch Series, led some laps actually in the Busch race in Mexico City. Road raced a lot, raced Formula Series many years. Very competitive driver in that series. Tough day for Quiroga. Day's over.
Many of these drivers have a car that is specifically designed. It looks like we've got a local caution. I saw the yellow waving there for a moment. Not sure what it's for. We'll wait to get the word from NASCAR. Maybe some debris on the track.
Local cautions, when they wave that local caution, it's caution through that corner. You have to be careful, and then you can get back up to speed. If it's a full course caution, then we need to slow down all the way around the course.
Well, there's Herman Quiroga, and you saw he's just upset. Long way to come from Mexico City to run a couple of laps. But his day is done.
Tough break for him. Looks like a full course caution, Mike, is out on the racetrack right now.
Well, apparently Quiroga put some oil down on the track. They had a local caution there for a moment, but I saw him give a smile for our camera. That's not the way he feels right now, but to clean up the oil, we've got a full course caution here in the Mohegan Sun 200. It is our first of the day. Matt Kovaluk and Ruben Pardo have been the class of the race so far, but watch out for Mike Olson, Brian Chu, and Max Dumouriez rounding out the top five so far. Scott Booley having some problems as well out of Wolcott, Connecticut. And apparently he's the one that's been putting a lot of oil down. You see a line there, Dan, of oil that's on the racetrack.
Looks like right down through here on the bottom there, right about where the middle of that race car is. You see a line down there, and obviously there's a problem there. Not sure. He's, right down underneath the car, goes right along the racetrack down there. Looks like he's dropped a good bit of oil, and they're talking. Drivers are reporting all through the S's. Looks like a good bit of oil all the way through it.
Well, they're going to take a while now to put down Speedy Dry to get that cleaned up. We were listening to Matt Kobaluk talk on the radio. He was saying that there was oil everywhere.
You're all good, Jimmy. You're all good.
Which is not a good sign. It's 1.53 miles around here. Want to make a note about Max Dumouriez, the youngster out of Ghent, Belgium. Started 5th today. His best previous start in an East Series race was 20th. A team there owned by Mike Olson, but he is a European sports car road racer. And there are a lot of folks who think that Max Dumouriez could really contend for a win here today.
Well, he is. He's a good road racer, and especially his first time here. I mean, to run so well. He tested here a few weeks ago. They were real happy with the test. He said, I was excited to come back here. 18 years old. This youngster's very talented.
And Natalie Taylor down on the pit lane has more on Max.
Yeah, guys, talking with him about taking the testing here, he was saying how it helped a lot with the lines. He's looking forward to it, but his road course experience definitely helps with the braking points on this track. And Max has shown so much success at an early age that a really strong team entered him in the 24-hour Zolder race in Europe. If him and his team would win, he would be the youngest driver in the world to ever win a 24-hour race. So Max definitely excited about competing on this road course today.
Wow. Talented young driver, Max Dumouriez, and driving for Mike Olson here today. We're getting word from NASCAR, Dan, we're going to red flag this race. And we saw a moment ago when we were looking at Max run around, there is really a lot of oil on this racetrack.
Well, there is. In a real critical part of the racetrack, too, right through the S's there, where you really lean on the race car right to left, and you got to have good track surfaces, got to be dry. You see the speedy dry they're putting down on the racetrack. It was a good move by NASCAR to get the car stopped here real quick. Shouldn't take more than about 5 minutes to get that cleaned up and get back in the way, but it's got to be really dry through this part of the racetrack because you really use every bit of it.
Dan, while we have a moment here, I know you want to join me in extending our condolences to the family of John Blewett, who lost his life at Thompson Speedway in a modified race this past week. And a lot of folks here knew John and have been talking about it, and certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and all those who are involved in the NASCAR Modified Series. They're going to have a memorial service tonight at Wall Speedway in New Jersey, but a real tragedy this past week at Thompson.
Yeah, we hate to see that. The family's been around racing a long time.
Indeed, but wanted to extend our condolences. Well, we have a red flag here in the Mohegan Sun 200. There's a lot of oil on the track, but it is a gorgeous day here in Connecticut. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Still under our red flag here in Lime Rock. Matt Kobaluk, Ruben Pardo, and Mike Olson, who we mentioned a moment ago. His 200th consecutive start today. He's never won here on this racetrack. He did finish second twice, and last year was third. You see Natalie Taylor down there now with his crew chief for many of these years, Harry Norcross.
You know, Mike, with having 2 second-place finishes and a third, he's definitely hungry for today. But only the few laps in, how's Mike feeling?
He hasn't said a whole lot. He's just trying to get an open track and, get to lap 82 and hopefully still have a shot at the win. It's pretty early to say much about the car.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll get back out there and be surprised. But having him being a veteran driver, I mean, that's got to make you a little more at ease since he knows how to drive the course and you just worry about the other stuff.
Yeah, Mike does a pretty good job usually keeping the car on the road, and the crew and I try to keep the thing from breaking. That's the big thing. You got to get to lap 82 to win.
That sounds like the plan for a lot of guys, just trying to survive. I mean, are you guys expecting a lot of yellows? Unfortunately, didn't start out on the best of stuff.
This is an 82-lap race. A lot of the races have had between 25 and 35 caution laps in them, so it could be a slow day.
Well, hopefully not too slow, and I'm sure Mike Olson's one of these guys that knows this track, so who knows, maybe he'll make his 200th start for Little Trees, make it a victory.
Mike Olson, the defending champion in this series, and one of your duties, I guess, is to make sure that the TV people know what they're talking about, so he gave us a ride.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Myself and Natalie around the track, and really helped us, I thought, to get a feel for what this track is.
Well, it does. It helps so much, to get a perspective of what the driver's seeing. When we drive on the racetrack, he shows us the groove, shows us the apex, and tells us the problem spots of the racetrack, and all three of us got a good feel for that.
Well, we've got NASCAR Grand National East racing next weekend from Mansfield, Ohio, and Mansfield Motorsports Park. We've also got the Wheeling Modified Tour. It'll be a doubleheader, 2 races next weekend. I'm excited about that.
Be a busy weekend there in Ohio. That'd be fun.
Starts at 3:30 Eastern time, so be sure to be with us next week right here on HDNet. Mansfield Motorsports Park, another racetrack that many of these drivers have never been to, so that'll be interesting to see. But it is going to be a jam-packed day on Saturday with the modifieds and with the Grand National East Series there as well. Well, you see the car still parked under red flag conditions. We've only run 7 laps, and only running 7 laps, it's hard to really talk about who's got what in the race. And you heard the crew chief, Harry Norcross, saying, "Hey, you can't really tell anything."
No, you gotta get 10, 15 laps under your belt there and to really tell what's going on.
That's John Salemi's car number 63.
Tough break for Sean. Not sure what the problem there is.
Well, Dale Quarterly is one of the guys who works on that car and helps get things going, and they had all kinds of trouble yesterday, and they were under the hood a lot yesterday. Didn't get a whole lot of practice laps in, and apparently didn't really get the problem fixed because they're having trouble again today. Eddie McDonald back down on pit road. The good news is the engines have fired. Car's taking some pace laps, and oh my goodness, Mike Johnson not able to get fired. This is a problem with a red flag, isn't it, Dan? Sometimes not able to refire these cars.
Yeah, sometimes you lose the starter on these cars, or possibly a battery issue. Hopefully not this early in the race, but could be possibly a battery issue or a starter problem. But what they'll do is they'll get the wrecker out, they'll give him a shove, and he'll be able to get his position back and get started back underway where he actually let off at. So,
well, he was running 6th. Mike Johnson started 4th. Johnson only won top 10 this year. That was at Stafford where he finished 7th. Matt Kovaluk, you see, getting some heat in the tires. Ruben Pardo right behind him. Now, I would not be surprised to see Ruben Pardo go out front. You heard, first of all, Kovaluk say, "I'm not going to push it."
Yep.
And I think Pardo wants to.
Well, he did. Listen in the radio transmission with Pardo. Pardo's spotters came on and said, "Ruben, you got to just pace it a little bit." Matt Kovaluk's real happy with his pace we're running. He would like us to maintain that pace, not use the car up and leave it till the end. And Ruben said, you know what he said? He said, "I want to lead a few laps. Tell him I want to lead a few laps, though." And I'm not sure what's going to happen, though. I'm not sure if Matt Kovaluk's just going to let him on by. But a little bit of communication between these front 2 cars talking right now. Basically, Matt Kovaluk saying, "Hey, let's save our equipment for the end of this race, then we can get down to it." And Ruben Pardo says, "I don't know if I like that. I want to lead a few laps." So we'll have to see what happens here.
Well, we're about ready to restart this Mohegan Sun 200, and it will be a single file restart. This is something we haven't seen all year long, but it's what they've decided to do on the road courses.
And that's what you really need to do at this racetrack. Going down into turn 1, corner speed entering turn 1's 145 to 155 mile an hour. Very, very skinny racetrack. It's about a groove and a half. Not enough room for 2 race cars to come in at that speed when they're under braking, downshifting, get back down into second gear. So smart move for the Grand National Series, NASCAR's Grand National Series, to do single file restarts. It'll just save a lot of equipment.
Well, the East Series started coming here in 1993. There have been 14 races in this division at this track and 11 different winners. Among them, Matt Kovaluk, who really has a strong car for the 2nd race in a row in this series. He was awfully strong at Adirondack. And remember, he's the HDNet Performance Award leader. Going to try to pad onto that just a little bit.
Just a beautiful facility here too, Mike. Kind of in the mountains here a little bit. Pretty green trees. I mean, just beautiful scenery all the way around this place. Just a precious time of year to be here. Track's 1.5 miles, 1.53 is the actual measurement of it. So just over 1.5 miles. Takes just under a minute to get around this place. Qualifying speeds were in the 53-second bracket, so race speeds put us around the 55, 56-second bracket, so just under a minute to get around this facility.
You see them coming down under that bridge. That's the downhill where they can get up a lot of speed, come down on that straightaway, and we understand one more pace lap, and guess what? We'll go back green flag racing.
Ready to rock, but it's important they run through there that lap, get that speedy dry off the track, because when you come to the masses, you really got to have a good clean racetrack all the way through it. Talked about it earlier. you got to have 3 spotters. It's mandatory by NASCAR to have 3 spotters all the way around this racetrack to really help you in different portions, because there's no way one spotter could see all the way around to help the driver.
And spotters are so critical even in a road course like this, particularly where there's some blind spots.
Big time.
There you see the S's. After the straightaway, they go around Big Bend, and then they come up through the S's. This is not a place where you will see a lot of passing today. It's very narrow here.
It is. Second gear all the way through there.
Mark Davis made an unscheduled pit stop coming out.
Not sure what's wrong there, but now's the time to do it. Under caution, possibly making some chassis adjustments to the car.
It's too early to get fuel. I would think 9 laps in.
Oh, most definitely. 15 to 20 laps is that window. See the speedy dry down on the racetrack right there. The cars will run through it and try and blow it off the track to get a good, clean racing service that next time by.
That's a great shot right there. You see them coming up almost blind up over that hill, and really the driver cannot see what's on the other side of the hill when they're coming up there.
Literally is blind, Mike. We came through in the pace car, and if you're running faster than about 40 or 50 mile an hour, it kind of takes the breath away from you, gives you that weird feeling in your stomach when you get to the top of that hill.
A lot of the guys who practiced yesterday, and we'll see this in the race today, actually get their wheels up off the ground coming on there.
Yep, and drivers have talked to Matt. He says, you got to actually lift off that pedal a little bit or you will catch air. All 4 tires will come off the ground. You'll hurt the race car. So you do actually have to lift right before you hit the top of that hill. Just feather back at that gas just ever so much.
Well, we're ready to go green, and I know you are too.
Ready. Go, 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 go. 1, 2. Nice start.
Cars in the back look like log jamming back there, Mike, in the grass.
Did you see Max Dumoulin on that start just dive down to the inside and pass 2 cars to move up into 3rd place? What a great move by the youngster from Belgium.
Well, he got a good run there, and what NASCAR says, once you get past them orange cones, the fire line, you can pass cars on the right or the left, and that's exactly what Max Dumoulin was able to do.
Dumoulin, boy, he made it. That was the move of the race so far in the 16 car.
Log jam a little bit further back. Unfortunately, a few cars swerved off in the grass. One good thing about this place is plenty of runoff room, and it is forgiven a little bit to kind of save the race car if you get off course.
So far, none of the leaders have gotten off course, as you see coming down the hill and coming down the front straightaway. This is where the passing zone is, and Ruben Pardo looked inside of Matt Kovaluk, not able to take him as they head to Big Bend and uphill again, up through the S's.
Now, Ruben wanted that position again. He was talking on the radio. He said, I want to lead some laps. Matt Kovaluk, my prediction is he'll stretch it out here some 10 car lengths, then he'll kind of slow down, let Ruben by if Ruben wants to do it and use up the tires. So important here today. Patience, patience, patience is the key word. You've got to be patient, take care of that equipment. Do not run off course. If you run off course, the day's pretty much done because you're going to go back in a hurry. You're going to get grass all over the tires. You're going to take a lap.
On the back straight now, and again they'll head downhill and under that bridge. This is where you get the speed up, the run up, to try to make a pass, but Pardo is not there. You got to pretty much be on the bumper coming down that hill to make that pass.
Yeah, you do. There's not a lot of good places to pass here. Down this long front straightaway is probably the best one. And the little short chute there on the backside, the back straight we call it, right before you enter turn 7.
Here's Mike Johnson, Rogelio Lopez. It's a battle for 7th place. Johnson 7th, Lopez is 8th. We haven't said a lot about our guy, James Busher. That 31 car right in the middle of your screen.
17 years old, little hot shot.
Out of Plano, Texas.
Driving a Ted Marsh car. He's going to race an ARCA race tomorrow. Is that right, Mike?
Right on dirt track tomorrow, and then he's also going to race in the Pro Cup Series on Wednesday. There he is, Busher, in the 31 car. Going to race on Wednesday, so he's got a busy couple of days. He's won an ARCA race, won at Lakeland this year. That's not an easy track to win on.
No, it's not. He's done extremely well, especially in the ARCA Series. Turned a lot of heads in that series. He's a full-time Hooters Cup Series racer also, so he stays real busy racing race cars.
His third race in this series, he was 7th at Stafford, 6th at Thompson. He's showing something here as he gets by Mike Johnson.
Good run. ASA late model background. He was 2006 Rookie of the Year in the ASA, also the champion in the ASA series for 2006. So he's got a lot of racing experience for a youngster. I mean, he's got a lot of background for being 17 years old.
There was Joey Logano a moment ago. He's running 6th, points leader. Back up front, 1 and 2, the way they started the race. Matt Kovaluk and Ruben Pardo. Max Dumouriez with that great move on the restart is now 3rd.
Pardo just right on the back bumper of Kovaluk again. Was able just to hang with him. He's feeling good about it. Again, listen to the radio. He wants to lead some laps. Got to be so careful. Take care of that equipment.
Well, you heard Matt Kovaluk tell us on the radio, hey, I'm not going to burn up my tires. If he wants to go ahead and lead, I'm probably going to let him. Well, that's what he told us.
Yep.
We'll see if it happens out on the racetrack.
Yep. Pardo being 0.2 of a second actually quicker than Matt Kovaluk that last lap, so his car is a little bit faster at this point. He must have backed up and then regained that distance between Kovaluk, so he was a little bit faster that last lap. So he's got a race car to beat too also.
Ricardo keeps looking like he wants to go inside and make a pass. Here would be a place he would do it.
Got to be careful though not to drive in one of these corners too deep and touch Kovaluk, spin them both out. That would not be good this early in the game. He's got to be patient, use his head, be there at the end, because he's got a race car that could be in victory lane.
Pardo, the Rookie of the Year in this series a year ago. As we said, he won here last year. This is the same car that he won in a year ago. He's not had a great season. Only 2 top 10s, an 8th at New Hampshire, a 7th at Thompson. Didn't race at Adirondack.
He spun yesterday in practice actually. Spun around and hit the tires down in turn 1. Did a little damage to the right rear corner of the race car. Luckily for him, it was all cosmetic damage, did not bend the rear end or anything on Ruben's car, so he was lucky. He just kind of laughed and he said, I found my braking point. I know where the limit is. Sometimes a driver needs to do that to find out where to go, not to step over that line. That's exactly what Ruben Pardo experienced yesterday.
And better to find that in practice than out here on the race day on the race course.
Ruben's raced in 2 Busch South races in Mexico and also Nashville, Tennessee. He's raced a Busch race here in Nashville. Was real happy with his performance there. Raced in Mexico City on super bikes and the truck series over there in Mexico City. So got a lot of racing experience also.
Well, this is obviously a planned stop. That is Jeffrey Earnhardt. Also in Sean Case. By the way, you saw the yellow on Earnhardt's car, that yellow one. That's actually Paul Menard's road racing car that has put the 5 off of it.
Yep, exactly. That's one of the road racing cup cars that they pulled out of the stable and just changed the numbers around. Here's Sean Case back underway.
They've had a tough weekend.
Yeah, they have. Bounce back and forth.
Changed the transmission this morning.
See Kovaluk and Pardo, obviously the class of the field, stretching away from the rest of the field. Cars feel good when you're in a rhythm like that. You try to stay in rhythm, and that's exactly what these 2 cars are doing. But, you know, Matt was real concerned about not using up the tires there, talking to him earlier. He says, I got to be there at the end. I got to be careful not to overdrive them tires because it's the same set of tires we start with as the tires that these guys got to finish the race with. Unless they flat spot them or get a flat tire, they've got to finish with them tires.
Well, you saw Jeffrey Earnhardt coming through your screen there a moment ago. Son of Kerry Earnhardt. He's one of those developmental drivers for DEI. Get a chance, want to take a look at that car and say, actually it's a Nextel Cup car, and you can see they have just taken the 5 off the side there and left the 1 on, and you see that little black bubble on the hood, on the top there on the roof. Well, that's the in-car camera setup, and that's the roof cam that Paul Menard uses actually on the Cup races. So that is right out of the Nextel Cup Series out here racing today.
Yeah, a lot of these cars, and there's an abundance of these cars coming up at the end of this year because we're Nextel Cup Series going to the car tomorrow. Oh, looks like Jeffrey ran off course there a little bit. Good job of staying in the throttle and hanging on to it. But a lot of these cars will be available here towards the end of the year because the car tomorrow kind of just outdates these cars.
Well, Mike Olson has just come down on pit road to get his fuel. Really interesting, these guys getting their fuel under green. They couldn't get it when they stopped before under red flag conditions. Is that our leader coming in?
Like possibly Kovaluk down pit road.
Looked like Matt Kovaluk might be coming onto the pit lane as well.
Sure is, down pit row.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
19 laps under our belt right now. They can make it to the end. So talking to most of the teams, they said anywhere from 15 to 20, Mike, and that's our window right now.
Clear, go, 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 go.
Uh-oh, a little trouble getting it into gear.
Yeah, not sure what the issue was
All
there.
clear. 61 car coming hard. 61. Outside, outside. Still outside. Still there.
That stop was a little longer than he wanted, but this really shakes up the field a bit and gives the lead to Ruben Pardo, where he wanted to lead. Now he's leading, but he's still got to come in and get fuel. Again, everybody is going to have to come in and take fuel before the end of this race, and that includes Pardo in the 22. So Kovaluk has come in. Olson has come in among the leaders.
Yep, and Pardo, he could stay out. Depending on what strategy these guys want to play, they can probably go for another 20 laps or so before they would actually run out of gas. So he could lap this field and stay out there for a while. So it could be a little strategy play. Oh, the 31 car, Buscher gets turned around. James Buscher turns himself around, looks like gets back in the way.
Local caution out in that area. Buscher in the bushes.
Thank goodness he stayed between the green and the tire fence there.
Yeah, nothing hurt on the car, I don't believe.
Nope, back underway. A lot of these guys, when you come to a road race like this, it's a lot of fun for a lot of these guys. At the end of the day, they just shake their heads and say, man, sure glad that race was over, because it's just, we're coming to a whole different environment that we're just not used to.
Ruben Pardo, and you wonder when he'll come down on the pit lane. I think the longer you wait, more trouble you're in. I may be wrong on this, but it seems to me that track position is the absolute key to winning this race. And you think about Kovaluk and Olson. Well, they're not going to have to come in again, so when everything cycles around, they should be up front.
Yep, exactly. Right now we're showing 4 cars on the lead lap at this point. So possibly, as the race goes on, depending if it stays green, they could lap a lot of the field, so it could get rather interesting.
That was Lawrence Maloney you saw go off the track there a moment ago. Maloney is the guy from the SCCA, and he basically gets into the back of James Pritchard Jr.
Yep, just got in a little bit hot there, did the right thing, got down on the brake pedal instead of turning Pritchard Jr. around. He turned himself around a little bit, but he's back underway. Just got to be careful not to get in these corners too hot. You lock up these brakes. Once you lock up the brakes on a race car, you cannot steer it. It's basically out of control.
Maloney, a fun guy to talk to. He's actually a native of Ireland, now lives in Wayland, Massachusetts. But he's got that strong Irish brogue driving that 88 car. Mike Gallo normally drives it.
But he was talking a little bit of funny then.
Yeah. He's the guy that's looking for.
Oh,
well, there's another car that has spun, and that might be Pritchard.
Oh, 2 cars involved here. Looks like another car on the outside. Is that Joey Logano?
No, and James
that is
Pritchard
Joey Logano.
And Joey Logano into the tire barrier.
Wow. Tough break for Joey.
And I don't know if Joey's able to get that car refired. Pritchard, we talked about a moment ago. He was involved a moment ago with Maloney. Now let's see if we can hear from Joey.
Behind you. Hold on.
Wow, looks like he's planted in that tire wall pretty good.
Keep your belt on. Keep your belt on.
Oh, here comes Ryan Chu. He gets sideways coming off the corner. Not sure if there's some fluid down there.
Yeah, but you heard the spotter, very important, telling Joey Logano, keep the belts on, because Chu was aiming right at him.
So important. Sometimes a driver gets anxious and climbs out of the car. That's not what you want to do. See Joey Logano in the barrier wall. There's Brian Chu. Just clips him. Man, took the fiberglass off the back of that bumper. That was close.
Got Got the spotter excited right there, didn't it?
There you go. See Brian Chu just barely nick him. You see the fiberglass on the bumper right here, right in that section there. Just break loose. Man, that was close. I'm sure Joey Logano was holding on to the steering wheel because possibly he was climbing out of that race car and his spotter was telling him to stay in the car, keep your belts on.
Well, a tough break for Logano, who came into this race with a 188-point lead in the point standings. Matt Kobaluk is second. Peyton Sellers third and Sean Case fourth. But Logano, that 188 points, pretty healthy, may come in handy now. And Brian Chu, who had been running so well, up in the top 10 all day long. He's got some serious damage. He's going to have to come on pit road. And now the safety workers have gotten over to Logano's car.
Tough break for Joey. Again, he, like Natalie was telling us, he raced a Skip Barber car here yesterday and was getting a little practice. And the third lap into it, he gets wrecked and hurt his wrist and tore that race car up pretty bad. So not a good weekend for Joey Logano here at Lime Rock, Connecticut.
No, and with a hurt wrist, I think in a oval race, you can really do without the full use of both hands. But in a race like this, where you're having to shift with one hand, hold on to the steering wheel with another, you really need both hands at full strength.
Well, to make you 100%, you really do. I mean, you're shifting, you're grabbing the steering wheel, you're throwing the race car to the right, throwing it to the left, downshifting, upshifting. I mean, it's just a lot more activity than you would normally see at an oval. An oval track, you pretty much turning the wheel about a quarter of a turn in each corner, then unwind it down the straightaway a little bit, never shifting the car on an oval track. At this track, we're shifting some 4 to 6 times depending on what the drivers are doing, so you're downshifting and upshifting a lot, so that risk possibly could come in play here.
Well, let's run down the order for you. Ruben Pardo, Peyton Sellers, Jesus Hernandez, and Max Dumouriez, the top 4. Matt Kobaluk is the top runner who has already pitted, and he's running 5th. So he has a real advantage right now. Here's Joey Logano. Boy, just broke loose.
Yep, he's got a little loose there in the back. You see him in the back right corner there. Just got turned around there. You see Chu coming through there. He got loose. Not sure why, but man, did he just clip him. Got the bumper section of that car. That was close.
That is right before the downhill where you're really starting to pick up speed right there, coming off of the west bend. And it is a very, very tricky corner.
Brian Chu with Buzz Chu Chevrolet, the sponsor on that car. That's his dad.
Joey Logano had obviously came to the Skip Barber School to get some experience on this course, but this has been an amazing youngster adapting to road courses. You and I saw him at Infineon when he raced out on the West Coast. He had no experience on that track, and he was a contender to win that race.
It was stellar performance there all day, and sometimes you get a track to where you just can't get in the rhythm, and unfortunately, see Joey climbing out of the car there. Obviously disgusted. Said, man, what a tough day. What
he
a
really
tough
messed
week.
up the front end of that car. You can see it now. Look at the left front of the car. It is.
Yeah, it's down. The radiator's probably out of the race car, and the whole nose and the fenders are down on the car, so they may be able to cut that off there and get him back underway, but he's going to lose some 15, 20 laps, I'm sure, in the pits.
Disappointing day for that youngster, Joey Logano, who shows so much promise of really being a superstar in this sport. And there are a lot of Nextel Cup guys, including Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick, who have said that he has what it takes. But today, off the course, and a break for Matt Kobaluk. If he could lead the most laps and win this race, he could really make a big gain in the points race.
Big gain. That would be big for Matt Kobaluk. And again, he likes this racetrack, and it's the type of racetrack he gets around real well in, and he feels good about it. He's got the right attitude about it. He knows patience today is going to prevail, and he's been practicing that exactly.
Well, we've completed 25 laps. We go 82 here in this race. Certainly well within the fuel window to take on fuel. And I'm not sure the pit lane is open. Yes, it is, and so we're going to see Ruben Pardo, our leader, is going to come down onto the pit lane and make his fuel stop right now.
1. Stop.
Spotter Crew chief calling them in, telling them 1, 2 to go, 2, 3, 2, 1. They usually counting it backwards, get you into the box.
All the way out.
Wow, possible contact there almost with Michelle Theriot. As she was coming in, she had to slam on the brakes and actually stop to keep from missing Ruben Pardo. Pardo's.
Looks like Ruben Pardo stopped.
Yeah, not like they're holding him down on the end of pit road, possibly. Not sure what the problem is there. There's Brian Chu's car pulling the fiberglass panels. That's all fiberglass, that whole tail section. The fenders, the sides are made of metal, but the fiberglass is the back. So they're trying to get that car cleaned up and get it back underway.
Maybe we can find out from NASCAR why they are being held down at the end of pit road. This is really hurting Ruben Pardo.
Yep. Good opportunity for Brian Chu to get in there because NASCAR would have black flagged them if they had to go green with that tail bumper section just dragging. So it was important for them to get in here under this caution and get that taken care of without losing a lap.
Well, Brian Chu has lost a lot of positions. He was a contender today. It was in the top 5. Actually got as high as 3rd place at one point. But not now.
Started 8th here today, had a good qualifying effort. But if he uses his head, he's patient, he could possibly make his way back up towards the front also.
We'll wait for everything to cycle through before we get exactly where everybody is right now with all those pit stops. But I believe that Peyton Sellers is the leader, and important for Peyton because he came in 3rd in points, so he is going to get some bonus points now for leading the race. Peyton Sellers out of Danville, Virginia, in the 83 car is now our leader.
Peyton, not sure if Peyton had come in earlier for fuel. I don't believe he did, so he may still have to come in for fuel himself. See Peyton Sellers there.
Well, actually, that is
3rd car back.
Jamie Hayes who's in front of him, but on the official scoring list it has Sellers, and now we're going to cycle through, and Max Dumouriez is going to be posted as the leader. It takes a while to cycle all this through with all the pit stops.
Peyton Sellers, like we talked about, did not come in for fuel. So that was a smart move to get fuel now, 27 in. He's good to go also. Any of these cars from this point out will be good the rest of the day, so if you're going to take fuel or do any adjustment, now's the time to do it.
Ruben Pardo 10th. He has a little ground to make up. We go back, green flag. Under caution because of the spin by Joey Logano, went into the tire barrier, and Brian Chu spun as well. Ruben Pardo just came in to take his fuel, and now they're in his pits, Natalie Taylor.
Yeah, guys, you know, talking with Ruben before the thing happened with Joey Logano, and his team was saying it's going to be about 10 laps before he comes in, so I thought the yellow came out, they'd be excited to get him in. Well, they're still a little worried now. They're definitely upset that he lost the position. They said the yellow is not helping them at all with fuel mileage, and they're keeping their fingers crossed like a lot of other teams I'm sure are doing.
Well, one thing, Natalie, that determines this fuel mileage is the type of motor that are in these cars. Now, these drivers can run the spec motor, but the problem with that, while it's very reliable and very good, it does not get near the fuel mileage as the built motors do.
Now, the spec motor's got a 830 carburetor on them, much bigger carburetor, does not get quite the fuel mileage that the open motor does that runs a 390 carburetor. The 390, you can build the motor up internally, but again, with the smaller carburetor, it's going to get better mileage. So, you know, it could make a difference here today, but if we have a couple more cautions between now and the end, it really should not come into too much play. But there is 2 different fuel mileage situations with some of these teams because of the different motors.
Well, you see 2 cars who are in front of our leader, Max Dumouriez. And Max is one who I still don't believe has come down for fuel. Matt Kobaluk right behind him. You see the 40 there, and Mike Olson. Those 2 cars have come on and taken fuel. And obviously they wouldn't have been called in if their crew chiefs didn't feel that they were pretty confident now they can go the rest of the way. But Max Dumouriez, the leader. But the question is, when is he going to make his fuel stop?
Yep, and again, it's a strategy deal with crew chiefs and drivers. Just all about track position. Track position here is so important because this track is so hard to pass on. It is really a bear to get around somebody at this racetrack unless you can get a good run. They're off at turn 7 down that front stretch, so important to use strategy for track position.
Max Dumoulin, the leader. We are under caution here at Lime Rock Park in the Mohegan Sun 200. Max Dumoulin, the leader, but Matt Kovaluk's right behind him in second place. Mike Olson third. Mark Davis fourth, and Jeffrey Earnhardt fifth. And there you see Joey Logano's cars. His team is really working on the front end to try to get him back out there. He's not going to win the race today. He's going to be many laps down, but when you're fighting for a championship, you want to get out there and not have one of those DNFs, and he still has a chance to pick up some good points here today.
Yeah, he does. They're cutting the fenders off the front part of that race car. It looks like just pulled a hood off the car, so again, it's not going to have the downforce that it really needs to get through the corners, but again, it's all about points. It's all about getting out there and making laps, and that's what Joey Logano needs to do here the rest of this afternoon.
So he'll just be riding around making laps. Will not be having near the speed that he's had up to this point, as you see them cutting a lot of the sheet metal off of that car. But the story, Max Dumoulin, I did not see him come down on pit road, but Natalie Taylor is checking on that for us, the youngster who's leading the race. And I know that Mark Davis came on pit road. He's fourth, and we saw Jeffrey Earnhardt come down. He's fifth right now.
Yep, and again, that was a good move. They made an early pit stop early on, so possibly that could really pay for us this late in the game. Not sure if we're going under a red flag condition or what. I thought I'd seen the car stopping on the racetrack there that last time by, so possibly some fluid down on the racetrack, or for some reason NASCAR possibly stopping this race. Not sure. We'll have to take a look and get a report from NASCAR. See the 48 car, Eddie McDonald, back down on pit road. He was back down there earlier, Mike, and not sure what his problems were.
Well, I have not gotten any word from NASCAR, but apparently they've red flagged the race.
See the officials looking on the racetrack, possibly for oil. Remember seeing Brian Chu get turned around when he ran into Joey Logano, though, so possibly some reports of oil through that corner when Brian Chu got loose earlier and backed into Joey Logano when he was sitting still there in the barriers.
Well, we'll try to find out the reason that they have stopped this race and apparently have red flagged it. We'll be back in a moment. More of the Mohegan Sun 200. We are at Lime Rock Park. This is the Mohegan Sun 200. I'm Mike Hawkwood along with Dan Partis. Natalie Taylor's down on the pit lane. Matter of fact, Natalie has just informed us that Max Dumoulin did make a stop for fuel, the youngster from Belgium, so he's in the top 5. And when we go back green, we have gotten the scoring all figured out now, and Matt Kovaluk, Mike Olson, Mark Davis, Max Dumoulin, and Jeffrey Earnhardt will be the top 5.
I think Max Dumoulin actually is in the lead, Mike. He just moved back from the back. Not sure if he had trouble getting the car started, but he did move back to the front, so it appears when they hit the scoring loop like they just did that Max Dumoulin is our leader.
Well, they did hit that scoring loop, and you're exactly right. That's why you're here.
That's why we're both here.
Max Dumoulin is the leader in the 16 car out of Ghent, Belgium. We talked about the fact that he would have a chance to win this race today, and he has made his fuel stop. Let's go down to Natalie.
Yeah, he made that fuel stop, and you might have noticed it took him a while to get out there. He actually had to have a push start, basically just not enough voltage when he cranked it up there, and so his crew got him back out there. Not worried at all, happy with the fuel, and excited for the rest of the race.
Okay, Natalie, thanks about that. It's going to be interesting to see this youngster now with 2 veterans behind him in Matt Kovaluk and Mike Olson. And then how about the 17-year-old Mark Davis? You see him right there at the top of your screen. Saw him just a moment ago. He is 17 years old. Matter of fact, Jeffrey Earnhardt's 17. So what, we have 3 drivers under 20 in the top 5. How about that?
Yep, and it's very impressive. And also, Jeffrey Earnhardt and Mark Davis started 16th and 17th here today. And look at them, both in the top 5. They kind of used strategy there a little bit, pitted it a little early, got fuel, and it enabled them to have the track position that they have right now. So it's a good move. Hats off to 18 car of Mark Davis and also the 1 car Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Well, there is still some speedy dry out here, and we heard on the radio several drivers talking. tell the guy behind me we are not going to go fast on this first lap till we get through the speedy dry. There's Mark Davis in the 18 car.
And you mentioned that, Mike, and as a driver, that's a tough chore to do because you want to race hard, you don't want to lose position, you want to stay with the guy in front of you, but you got to tiptoe through them speedy dry areas because you don't want to spin the car around. So you got to tell the guy behind you. You tell your spotter to tell the guy behind you to tell his spotter to, hey, that first lap when we come through there where that speedy dry is, I'm going to take it easy. Kind of a hard task sometimes, but everybody has to discipline themselves to do that.
Well, we've made one more adjustment. Are they going to stop again? We made one more adjustment in the scoring. This is one reason why I think we're taking all these pace laps is NASCAR figuring out the scoring. They've moved Jerry Marquis now up into the 5th spot, and Jeffrey Earnhardt has been bumped down to 6th.
Max Dumoulin stopped on the racetrack in the grass. Not sure if he's got a problem there or what. Unfortunate. I don't know. That's kind of, he was driving along fine there just a few minutes ago. Not sure what the problem is there. Hear him on the radio, a little bit of radio communication, but.
All right, damn it. When he comes in, guys, we got to check the battery. Get the battery's on the right side, right? We'll get the right side up. Just check all the connections.
Yep. Sounds like he's lost voltage in the 16 car. Unfortunate for Max Dumoulin leading the race here. And lost voltage, but there is an alternator on these cars, so you don't necessarily have to have 12 volts. I mean, it really helps the ignition systems to have that extra voltage, but if you got a good alternator, as long as the battery's okay, it'll usually charge the battery and also run the ignition system, but possibly an alternator problem on the 16 car also.
Well, we heard Natalie say that was one of the reasons he took so long on pit road was because of, low voltage. But he's going to have to get that truck to push him all the way around this racetrack. It's 1.5 miles around here. And without any power, the truck's going to push him to the attention of his crew, and that's going to really put him behind the 8 ball because track position is everything in this race.
Oh, it's big, and that's a tough break for Max there again, leading this race, and to have some wire or electrical issue knock you out of the race, it's unfortunate, but it's just the nature of this beast. I mean, racing's a tough sport. It's a team sport. It requires, your team, your crew to be on their ball 100%. You got to do your checklist at the workshop, and you check, and double check, and sometimes you miss a little thing like a battery cable, and it could just take you out of the race.
Well, unfortunately, what this means is we're going to have a couple more pace laps or laps under caution before we go back to green flag racing, and this is not the way these guys want to be running around this race course. It's not the way we want to see them running around this race course.
Nope, we want to go racing. Hopefully we can stay green the rest of this race because we've got plenty of caution laps under our belt at this point, but they've got to get Max Dumoulin off the racetrack, and they cannot go green till they get him pushed off there. As you see the record getting down there towards pit row, they'll give him a good shove so he can get down in the pit entrance.
Do your best job, guys. If you lose a lap here, you can still get it back.
Dumoulin spotter talking to him, saying, guys, get that battery changed. Probably need to put a battery in that car.
James Lang is the crew chief on that car as Max Dumoulin had one of the fastest cars here. That's a team car to Mike Olson.
Yep, not sure. The battery on this road race car is probably, right behind the right rear tire. They'll pull that right rear tire off, slide the battery off of it, see what kind of problem they can find there. Not sure. He's got a voltage gauge on the dash of these cars. It tells you if you got good voltage. He's probably reading that gauge and telling them, giving some feedback there, and that's probably why they're trying to troubleshoot this car at this point to see what the issues might be.
You see the Jackman struggle a little bit. Max may have pulled up a little bit too close to the wall there.
Yep, he's a little tight, but guys don't appear to be in too much of a hurry. Not sure if they feel that they've got other issues other than the battery or what. Unfortunate. This is a second car to the Mike Olson stable.
And again, they weren't allowed to change tires in the race, so if they get it fixed, they're going to have to put that tire back on there.
Yeah,
Same tire.
Yep, they're just pulling that tire off to get into the battery box. The battery's located right in front of that tire. It's kind of a tough place to get to, and sometimes see the blue battery there on the ground there. Right behind them there, they'll throw another battery at it and see if that'll cure the issue. But I think they might lose a lap or two at this point. Tough break for Max Dumoulin.
Well, one of the guys who definitely had a chance to win the race here today, and like Joey Logano, that chance has just gone by the wayside.
See Matt Kovaluk, you know, that's what Matt Kovaluk wanted to see. He run through his pit cycle, he rotated, he's all the way back up towards the front. He's got veteran Mike Olson behind him, also veteran Jerry Marquis running third. These three guys will set a good pace. You heard Matt Kovaluk talking earlier. I want to set a good even pace, take care of my equipment, but that's a veteran talking. That's what a veteran does. A veteran knows he's got to take care of his equipment. These top three drivers here in this series right now are all veterans, and I think they will all discipline themselves in that manner.
You mentioned Jerry Marquis. If you follow this series, you know he took over for Eric Holmes in that 35 car. It's a Dodge. Marquis has 7 wins in this series. Folks up in the Northeast know him as a modified driver, but he does have 7 wins in this series. And a matter of fact, here at this racetrack, he was second at Lime Rock in 1995, third in 1998. So he does have some strong finishes here, and Jerry Marquis can't be counted out. And the two youngsters, Mark Davis and Jeffrey Earnhardt, 4th and 5th. Good news, Dan. Just got word we're going green this time.
Go, go, go. Green, green, green.
That is a good sound here.
Sean Case hang the tail of the 44 car out there.
How about Mike Johnson as well in the 96? Both of those guys taking a little chance on the restart. Jeffrey Earnhardt's the one that kind of got hung out to dry a little bit there. He kicked back.
We talked about these corners, very, very skinny, real hard to run 2 cars through it. You got to tiptoe through it if you do it and hope the guy on the inside or the outside of you disciplines himself not to get in the side of you.
The car on the move is the 44 of Sean Case. He's moved his way into the top 5. And remember, he started the day from the back of the pack. Qualified 6th, but had to go to the rear because they changed transmissions. The cars were impounded after qualifying.
Yep, and this is one of Andy's old cars. Andy finished 4th here. Very, very new car first year, and then Sean finished 5th in here last year.
Boy, almost was like a battle for the lead as Olson ducked on the inside. There's Sean Case.
Setting a good pace. We talked about it earlier. The day there, he had to start from the back, but again, good race car, used his head if he's patient. He's worked his way back up in the top 5.
Right behind Mark Davis. Davis sometimes gets overshadowed a little bit by Joey Logano, and he also in a Joe Gibbs developmental car. Just 17 years old.
Mark doing an outstanding job in this series. Again, came out of legend cars, quarter midgets, bandoleros.
And Danny's had 2 great races the last 2 times out. He finished 3rd in Nashville, 3rd at Adirondack. He has yet to win a race in this series, unlike his teammate Joey Logano. 2 3rd places and looking good with a top 5 run right here today.
Mark's a smooth driver. He's very good on his equipment. Does not overdrive his equipment, does not abuse it, gets every little bit out of it, but just doesn't step over that line. A lot of discipline that youngster to drive like that.
31 car there, Jim Buescher. And there's another car that is off the track. I think that is going to be Maloney. Yeah, that's the Irishman.
Yep, he was a little off track earlier there today. He's back underway. Again, some of these drivers will leave here today.
Local caution, so just a caution in that area of the racetrack, and Maloney is back underway, who is a little trouble adjusting to these cars. This is not like driving the SCCA. These cars are a lot heavier on this racetrack.
A very, very heavy race car to throw around. They do not stop well either, so it just takes a bit of getting used to understand where the limit is on these cars.
Kovaluk and Olson. Over the years, those two have battled each other for 1st and 2nd many, many times, and we've seen a lot of it here on HDNet.
Mike Olson, we're talking about retiring next year. I'm sure Matt Kovaluk's going to miss him. Good driver. You know, as a racer, there's no better feeling to be out there to have a guy like Mike Olson behind you on your bumper. Know he's not going to turn you around. He's going to wait for the right moment to pass. He's not going to overdrive the corner. Does not make very many mistakes. Real confident feeling to have a driver like that behind you. Local caution waves. You see Yellow flag waving. Not sure if that was for the Max Dumouriez spin around, but it's like back in the way just
Good job, bud. +5.
You're hearing the words from Matt Kovaluk's spotter, that +5 car links. What they're talking about there.
Yep, that's what we want to hear. Seen in the background there, the 22 car, Ruben Pardo, worked back through the field, currently running in the 6th position. Got a good run and just been picking them off one by one, working back through the field.
But Kovaluk is so strong. Won his 2nd consecutive pole here at this racetrack. Finished 2nd last year. He'd certainly like to move that up a spot today. Ruben Pardo, you were talking about, started on the front row, won the race last year, certainly has a car capable of winning, but he made his fuel stop later than Kovaluk and Olsen, and that's hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, it did, because he lost a lot of valuable track position. You see Ruben there in the 22 car working back through, but he's got a good race car. He's got a fast race car. He just has to pick through. He's got to be careful do not overdrive the race car, use the brakes up again and lose the tires, slide the nose on this race car. So he's got to use his head. Again, not a lot of experience in these big cars, so we'll just have to wait and see if he's got what it takes to take care of that equipment.
Hey, Dan, here's some news. We're just past the halfway point.
Ooh, that's a good point. See a car in the tire barrier there again. Local caution in that corner.
I think that's James Pritchard Jr. See if that's not the 41 car.
Yep, locks the brakes up. A little too fast on corner entry, it appears. Man, ouch. That hurts. He got in that tire wall deep. There he is, way deep in the picture there. You see him just get off, locks the brakes up. Nothing you can do.
Yeah, but the great thing about these tires, they really do cushion you when you have to stop abruptly like that.
Oh, big time. That's like a soft wall there. I mean, that's big to have them tire barriers there as a driver. I mean, you'd much rather be hitting them tires. You see Joey Logano hitting that same spot. He's back on the racetrack now, so good possibility they can pull Pritchard Jr. back out, maybe be back underway. But he's buried up to the windshield and tires there.
He's coming off his best run of the year. Had a 9th place finish at Adirondack, did James Pritchard Jr. out of Wharton, New Jersey. Started 24th in the race here today, but plowing into the tire barrier has brought out the caution again with Matt Kovaluk in car 40, our leader. Kovaluk with 1 win this year. That was at South Boston, Virginia. Could win number 2. Come here at Lime Rock. We've still got a ways to go in the Mohegan Sun 200. Under caution again today. Cars are slowing down a little bit. Matt Kovaluk's the leader. He's led the most laps here.
He has, And,
all those guys confirmed, but it was real early.
Talking with his crew chief.
10-4, he did it early.
44, lap number 16. Yep. Unfortunate as a driver, we talked about to keep that rhythm going. It's kind of hard sometimes, and give Matt a holler and just see what he has to say about it. Matt, Dan Partisan, HDNet booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dan.
How about it, buddy? You've had a few hot dog breaks, a few pit stops. You probably haven't even broke a sweat there today.
Yeah, I'm actually sweating more under caution than I am during the race. My guys are making me turn my fan off to keep my head cool, so it's been a pretty easy ride so far, but everybody's conserving until we get to the end here.
Gotcha. You've been able to, it's kind of hard for a driver to concentrate, keep that concentration up. With so many cautions, you obviously got a good race car and you're able to do that.
Yeah, Mohegan Sun Chevrolet is really good right now. I mean, it's on older tires, we were a lot better than what we thought we were going to be yesterday, so we're looking to put this into the green here.
Good enough. Go to work, bud. Have fun.
All right, going to green this time. Matt Kovaluk getting focused now inside that race car.
Again, we talked about it. It just says he's hotter sitting there under caution, and he is actually driving. So he just got to get back underway, and hopefully we'll get a long green flag run here and see what these other cars have got. They got anything for Matt Kovaluk?
I heard one interesting comment. We were listening to the radio talk between Perry Waite and Matt Kovaluk. He was asking about Sean Case because he is so fast. And Perry Waite said he thought he came in around lap 16, which is going to make it very, very close for Sean Case as far as fuel for the rest of this race. But I guess these caution laps have helped out.
Yeah, I would say so. And obviously the caution laps, Andy Santerre's rolling the dice, but he knows what it takes. Oh, look at this trouble. Looks like Mark Davis possibly locked up there.
Marquis turned around. Mark Davis. Ruben Pardo is off the course.
Wow. Tough start there down in that corner. Just got log jammed. Everybody got together, but it looks like everybody was able to stay pointing in the right direction.
I do not see a caution flag out on the track. That's good news. Matt Kovaluk out in front missed all of it. So did Mike Olson. Jerry Marquis, though, was running third, and watch what happened.
Rerun to your left of your screen here just a little bit. There you go. Looks like they checked up to keep from getting back as Sean Case. They just may have drove down in the corner. 35 car, Jerry Marquis, he turned around but was able to keep that car pointed in the right direction. That could have been big, but everybody done a good job of keeping everything going straight.
We'll wait till they trip the transponder and they cross the start-finish line, but I believe Sean Case is going to be the biggest benefactor out of that. Indeed he is. Sean Case is now up to third place. Peyton Sellers. We haven't talked about Peyton all day, and he is now in the top 5 in the 4th position.
Yep, possibly right there, coming to the corner. See Peyton Sellers again. Good day for him. We talked about him earlier.
That's his backup car, by the way. They took their backup car, which is blue. Their primary car is white. They took this car, which has not run a race for them this year, and spent the whole week converting it to a road race car. They wanted to save their other car for the oval race next week in Mansfield, Ohio, and so far the car that they built into a road race car is doing pretty good. Peyton Sellers in the top 5. He came in third in the point standings. And again, the point standings probably won't change today, but Matt Kovaluk and Peyton Sellers stand to gain a lot of ground on Joey Logano. If you're just joining us, he hit the tire barrier early, and he is several laps down and no longer a contender to win here today.
See Brian Chu, looked like, not sure if that was Jerry Marquis or not.
I think it was, it was Marquis in the 35.
Wow, tough break for Marquis. Again, he was running up that top 5. Not sure if he got any help there or not, but he just got turned around there. Jerry Marquis back underway. Here's another look at that.
Local caution out there, by the way, in that corner.
Looks like Jerry just got, see the right front tire just locked up on the race car. They slowed down a little too fast in front of him. Jerry was not able to slow down, being a veteran driver. Instead of running in the back of the car in front of him, turn them around, he had to lock his brakes up and spun himself around. Lost a lot of valuable positions there.
Coming up on 30 laps to go.
Coming up on a lap car, 26 car, Scott Booley. Oh,
Mark Davis off the course.
Wow, another one that was having a good run there. Again, we talked about it. You know, us oval guys get a real education when you come to a road race like this because it just happens so fast. Local caution out down in that corner, but not sure if Mark's going to be able to get out of there. He may be stuck.
Well, he has a good view from that corner. Let's see what happened. He just lost it.
Yep, just gets turned. I don't believe he got any help, but may have been just loose. You run these cars way out on the rumble strips, just get as much space on this racetrack as you can, and may have just been loose and not able to hold on to tail that race car. Do not see a full course caution yellow at this time, but Mark appears that he might be stuck in the grass down there.
Might have to sit there. And now there's a full course caution out. Just came out.
This car's going to try and catch it. He's just coming off their road now.
There's Mark Davis. Fortunate for him.
So now both of the Gibbs drivers, Davis and Logano, have had trouble here today. Top 5 when that caution came out: Matt Kovaluk, Mike Olson, Sean Case, Brian Chu, and Chase Austin.
Mark Davis just got a car behind him. Not sure who that is, but appears that he just got loose off the corner there and turned himself around.
I think that car behind him was Jesus Hernandez, that blue car.
Almost kept it on the course right here, but then just slid on that downhill. There's just nothing you can do once you get in that grass.
Looks like a pretty area down there in the shade. Mark Davis off the course. Caution out again in the Mohegan Sun 200. Mark Davis down there in that ditch, and he's gotten out of his car. You see him sitting there with a smile on his face.
Not happy. He says, man, I can't get the four-wheel drive to work. Can't get out of this ditch. Safety workers help him out. Did not appear to hit anything, hard. Just not sure if, like I say, the car appeared to be stuck in the grass there.
Well, he was walking kind of gingerly to get into the safety vehicle, which they'll take him to get checked out. Didn't seem like he hit anything very hard, Dan.
Nope, didn't look like he got the guardrail at all. Here he exits off the corner, the third car in your picture there. Second car, I'm sorry, just gets turned around and just kind of slides down in the grass right here. He did clip the guardrail a little bit further back there, but didn't look like it was big impact. He stopped down there in the grass. Unfortunate, and these cars, once you get stuck in the grass, they've got to go full course yellow to get these cars pulled out of there, so it's just a safety issue. Does take a little bit longer than your normal oval track, but just really no other way to get it cleaned off.
So the driver's been taken off to the safety center, and that truck will be pulling them out of the way. This has got to help Sean Case, who's running third, and he was the first among the leaders to come on pit road. And so fuel we don't think will be an issue, but it is going to be closer than it would with any of the other drivers.
Yeah, it would have, but again, these cautions are really helping these guys for sure. So that's a big deal. Definitely get these caution laps. It'll surely help with fuel mileage. Sean, Dan Partisan with HDNet. You copy?
Hello, buddy. How you doing?
Pretty good. Looks like you got you a really good race car there. Moving up towards the front. You had to start from the back. How's your fuel situation looking? You good to go to the end of the day?
We picked a pretty early pit strategy, and it's paying off with all these cautions. That's kind of what we were banking on. The Casella Oasis is number 44. Chevrolet is running awesome. Team did a great job getting me in a car that I could run top 5. I don't know if we got a car to win, but we sure got a great car to finish top 5, which is my goal getting through this race.
Looked like it was a good move to change that transmission there earlier today and start from the back. Looks like you got a good race car under you.
10-4. Just like to thank all my guys, all the fans out there watching. Keep cheering me on. Casella Oasis number 44. Just keep running up front. Have a good show with everybody.
All right, good luck to you, Sean.
Well, that's a confident driver, Sean Case. Then there's Mark Davis out of Mitchellville, Maryland, 17 years old. He's already been taken to the care center. We hope he's okay. Looked like he was all right. Walked under his own power to get in the car, and his car will be now towed back to the garage.
Second car in your picture there. Just not sure if he got any help or just got a little loose off corner exit there. It's like he slams left rear corner. A little bit of contact with the retaining wall, but then he slides down in the grass and gets stuck. Staying.
56 laps are complete in the Mohegan Sun 200. We run to lap 82. Well, surprise of surprises, we're under caution. The Mohegan Sun, Busch East 200. There you see the top 5. Running 6th, name you don't see on there is Chase Austin, who's having a great run here today. Chase, 17 years old, out of Eudora, Kansas. He has not had a great season, but he's coming off his best finish, a 7th at Adirondack. More on Chase. Let's go down to Natalie.
Okay.
Hello, Natalie.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Hey, it's funny. I got the chance. You know what it's like. You always get to talk to guys and find out different personalities and different stories. And I've got something about Chase Austin. So I got to talking to him, and he started talking about his inspiration was his mother. He says how his mother, Marianne Austin, can't make it to any races. So for thanking her for all that she's done to promote his racing career, him and his sister got together, bought her an HD TV, bought her an HD box, and got HDNet. As Ray thought is the only way that they can see their son race. So there's a little thank you to Chase Austin's mom. Guys, back to you for green.
All right. He's having a good day today, running 6 as we're back on green. How about that? Oh, my, you can't do that here. Oh, Sean Case, what a move.
Still too wide. 99 is there. Still there. 83 are clear. Don't sweat it. We got to hit our marks and we got to get them back.
Wow, Matt Kovaluk said, where did these guys come from? Sean Case looked like he was fired out of a cannon.
What a restart for Sean Case. Are you kidding me?
That was huge. I tell you, his car.
He's about 3 back, Sean, 3 back.
Here Andy Santerre talking 3 back. He has got a race car under him. He had to start from the back, change the transmission on that car, work his way through the field. Patience has paid off here today at Lima.
And that might come to be the move of the race today, the restart.
See Matt Kovaluk down to the left of your screen on the bottom saying, wait a minute, what's going on here? I've led this race all day, and now they've taken it away from him.
I think Matt Kovaluk will be a little upset, but he knows there's still a lot of laps left.
He does, again, being conservative today, Matt taking care of his equipment.
Sean Case leading for the first time this afternoon.
Case driving one of Andy's cars from the past. He's got 3 races on it. Billy Hess car that they built, brand new race car. This is the 3rd race on it. Sean raced it last year and finished 5th here. Andy finished 4th the first year he drove. Likes this race car, says it turns right and left extremely well, stops good.
Sean finished 5th in this race a year ago. Now Mike Olson trying to get up alongside of him.
Olson looking to the inside.
And Mike Olson takes the lead for the first time today.
Mike, another savvy veteran, been hanging around, taking care of his equipment. The top 5 here all day, and again, he's able to really capitalize on it with 23 laps to go. A few laps around the pace car with Mike. He knows his way around this racetrack. Knows where to be, when not to be. In certain places, and that's important, especially when you get too wide.
He's the grandson of the legend Stud Fadden around here. Stud Fadden, a very successful driver in decades gone by in the old Busch North Series.
See Matt Kovaluk saying, I don't know, I don't like this. Starting to lose sight of Mike Olson a little bit. Whoa, see Sean Case get a little loose on the outside.
Go get him.
Kovaluk spotter saying, go get him. You're all clear.
+2. Hit your marks.
When they're talking about hit your marks, when these drivers...
20 to go this time by, 2-0.
Here's 20 to go. When they're talking about hitting your marks, Dan, tell us exactly what that means, what they talk about on the racetrack.
Hitting your marks is so important, especially on corner entry. On the long straightaway down the front stretch, there's actually numbers on the outside of the racetrack that say 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, some drivers will break it to 6 marks, some will break it to 5, some will break it to 4. Important to hit your braking points right, and also when you turn down in the corner, you see they hang that tire right on the line, right as they enter the corner. It's so important to hit the same mark every time. It's the apex of the corner. Very, very important to get through that corner just as fast as you possibly can. Here's the marker point. You see the white. Whoa!
Mike Johnson almost got into, and Chase Austin, we just talked about, is off course. Mike Johnson almost got into Peyton Sellers there a moment ago.
Like Austin may have overdrove the corner and just locked up the tires. Again, we just talked about the braking points. If you pass a braking point by some 10 to 20 feet, you'll overshoot the corner and you'll end up in the grass. It's so important in a track like this just to stay on course. Talking to Kovaluk Olson, they said, man, the biggest thing at this racetrack is if you can stay on course, Mike, you can finish in the top 10. Very important to stay on course.
Under 20 laps to go now in this race. 82 will complete the Mohegan Sun 200. And right now, the Mohegan Sun car, Matt Kovaluk, trying to chase down the Little Trees car of Mike Olson.
See Sean Case, again, flexed his muscle there a few laps ago. Not sure if he may have overdriven the race car, heated the brakes up a little bit, or he's just kind of hanging back a little bit, saying, hey, I got what it takes. Let me save it for about 5 to go, because then you can really get up on the steering wheel.
Good news. We just received that Mark Davis checked out. He's fine, released from the care center.
Wild ride for Mark. Apparently just got stuck down in the grass. A little damage to the left side of the car. Was not able to get back in the way.
The two-time series champion and the defending series champion, Mike Olson, leading here.
These two guys are veterans. Again, now it's time to check out if they got anything. We're still 19 laps to go, so still need to save a little bit.
I'll tell you what, that bonsai restart by Sean Case may have taken a little bit out of that car, but that was one exciting move, and I don't think Matt Kobaluk knew it was coming.
No, not at all. They got a little bunched up there on that start, and it just really gathered things up. Really piled, log jammed a lot of guys up into that corner. It got real exciting for about 6 or 8 of them there.
Let's take a look at this again and watch Case dive down to the inside. Mike
Case
Olson goes there
the
too, and up top, Matt Kobaluk says, what the heck is going on?
3 wide. Olson lifts out of the throttle, says this is not going to work. Gets 2 wide, not the place to be. Very thin part of the corner there. You cannot run 2 to 3 wide through that corner. So it just really shuffled him back, but he did the right thing.
I want to talk about 2 guys that are having great races today. Brian Chu and Peyton Sellers, both running in the top 5. Chu out of Manitowoc, New York. It's a family-owned team, sponsored by his dad's car dealership. And the same with Peyton Sellers, although Peyton's off the pace. He has just dropped out of the top 10. Had been running so well.
Kobaluk there, second position. Again, him and Olson are running about the same exact times. 55.00 for Matt Kobaluk, 55.96 it looks like for Olson. So these cars are within 100th of a second each lap. So I mean, these cars are almost identical. So it's going to take some lap traffic or somebody to make a little bit of mistake to have a problem.
As you see, 17 laps to go now.
See first, second place, Kobaluk. Here comes third place into your picture, Sean Case. Fourth place, Brian Chu, like you had said. Come back, there he is there. Just coming into our picture. Lost the bumper cover of that car earlier.
And you know, for Mike Olson, you see Ruben Pardo coming up there. This has got to be sweet after all the problems he's had. Remember Nashville? Adirondack, some trouble. Ruben Pardo trying to get by Mike Johnson. That would be for 4th place.
Battle for 4th right there. Tough battle again. Mike Johnson, he's been kind of bouncing back and forth. He got tied up there a little bit earlier in that big log jam, was able to hold on to the race car. Did a good job of that.
It is not easy to pass here at Lime Rock, but here's the place you do it. Going under the bridge, down the hill, getting a good run going in that long straightaway. Let's see if Ruben Pardo is able to make a move.
Got to get it running. Get back up on the gas before the driver in front of you does, so you can carry down that front straightaway. See Pardo looking to the inside, trying to outbrake Johnson. Not quite able to do it.
Got to be a little careful there.
Yeah, Pardo having an extremely fast car earlier. May have used up some of the tires on that race car. Talked about it. He was battling with Matt Kobaluk earlier, wanting the lead lap.
In the past, they've been able to change tires here in this race, but today they've had to go with the 4 that they started on, and that's what you have to go with all day long.
Again, take care of the tires. You see Johnson real good on the uphill and through the S's. Pardo loses ground. Pardo catches him down the front stretch. He appears to have a little bit better motor. He starts reeling him in right through here. Mike Olson, Matt Kobaluk set sail. See Scott Booley moves over to the bottom of the racetrack. Lets these guys by. Mike Johnson, family-owned lumber company. Works on his own race cars.
Mike Johnson's had a good day today. Johnson running part-time this season. Last time we saw him was at Thompson. Ran 26th in that race. Off course, through the woods, it's Jamie Hayes. And he gets back on it.
63 car.
That's
John
Salemi.
Salemi. Looks like trying to get that car fired back up. Local caution that corner. 76 car.
That's Jason Cochran, who's running his first E-Series race. Jason out of Marion, North Carolina. And now I think we are going to have a full course caution with 3 cars in that lap.
Wow.
Going off the course.
Obviously some oil down in that corner, and NASCAR's detected that they need to stop, get that oil dried up, because 3 cars spinning out right in the same area. Obviously they got a problem down there.
John Salemi out of Nashua, New Hampshire, not happy at all. His 4th season. This is the team that Dale Quarterly helps a little bit. And Salemi's not had a bad year.
Jason Cochran, 76 car, also off course but back underway.
Talking to Jason's dad, who used to be a driver there wanting to get started, I said, "No, why would you pick a road course as the first course?" And he said, "Because this is when we got the car built and we're ready to go racing."
Well, if you get the tough ones out of the way first, the rest of them will be easy. So obviously that's their thinking.
You know, Mike Olson leading the race right now, and more on Mike. Let's go down to Natalie.
Yeah, Mike Olson was leading, but he did not want to see a yellow. I was talking to his crew, and they were saying that there is too much of a span between the first and second gears, so restarts are hurting him. That's why he was able to jump up there. Now, Sean Case, on the other hand, they're excited about the restart. Sean gained on that last lap, and they know that he is strong off those. So one team's hoping for it. Mike Olson's team's a little uncomfortable with this one.
All right, well, we came out of our seats on that last restart. Sean Case kind of set the tone, so I wonder if he'll do that again.
Well, the only good thing Mike Olson's got going for him is he is the race leader. So if he's got a ratio issue between first and second, meaning that maybe Matt Koblek's got a little better ratio that he could beat him through them, shifting through them gears, Olson could just speed the start up a little bit better. He could start actually in second because he is the race leader. So he does kind of set the pace. As long as it's not too blistering fast, NASCAR won't have a problem with it. So it is at his advantage that he is the leader at this point because he is starting the pace.
Well, we're coming down towards the end of this race, too, with coming up on 12 laps to go. I don't think this caution would normally be a long one. There was a lot of oil put down on the track, but see if John Salemi's car is still there. I think that's what the issue is going to be. They're going to have to hook him up and tow it out of there.
Yep, we got to get that car pushed out of the way, get it hooked up. Hopefully not too much oil down on the surface, so get that cleaned up and get back underway. Put up on Salemi's car there. They'll hook the record to the front nose section and get him out of the way.
Mike Olson, the leader. Matt Koblek is running second. We're back with the finish of the Mohegan Sun 200. The Mohegan Sun Busch East 200 is winding down. Strategy starting to play out. And here are the guys who are the contenders: Olson, Koblek, Case, Mike Johnson, and Ruben Pardo. And among that group, the surprise would be Mike Johnson out of Salisbury, Massachusetts. He's driving one of the few Fords in the field here today in his 8th season. A part-time driver this year, but he's got 7 wins in this series. His top run so far at Lime Rock was a 5th back in 2004, just a few years ago. But today, a top 5 run, and who knows on this restart. You know, at this point in the race, restarts I think are going to be the key. And you're going to see Sean Case hang it out, and we'll see if Mike Olson, if that ratio really is going to hurt him on the restart.
Well, you got Sean Case back there, and you got Ruben Pardo. I mean, you got 2 hungry young drivers. And at the end of that straightaway, turning to turn 1, we're seeing 145 mile an hour plus corner entry. So it's a gutsy move to drive down in there 3 or 4 wide. So these youngsters are going to be the ones that do it if you see it. So they've got to use their head, though. They've got to try and be a little bit patient, but do it without, trying to take anybody else out. I mean, it could be big on here on the restart.
Trying to keep those tires warm. Scrub them off a little bit, get them clean. And hopefully, maybe this lap by we'll be able to go green.
Yep, it's important to get all that speedy dry off the track and also off your tires, because it gets embedded in them tires, and these drivers have got to get that speedy dry worked off. You see they're working that speedy dry section in the corner now where there was a lot of oil down there in the corner. And just important to really work them tires hard and run through that speedy dry. See they're running them right through it just to get that speedy dry worked up, pushed out of the way.
Under 10 laps to go now, and gives us a chance to remind you that next week we will not only have this series, we'll also have the modified series. 3:30 Eastern time from Mansfield Motorsports Park. The Whelen Modified Series, and if you've never seen a modified race, boy, I tell you what, they can flat out put on a show, and it'll be a doubleheader with those guys and the Busch Grand National East Series.
What's cool about the modified races too is a lot of times you'll get a handful of them drivers that will race in the modified race and also jump into the Grand National car because they're racing at the same track. And
Jerry Marquis is going to be one of those. Yes. He'll be a favorite in both of those races.
Mike Stefanik, he's another one that drives the modifieds. There's 2 or 3 other ones that will jump from the modifieds to the Grand National cars, so it does help for the fields.
We were just talking about Mike Johnson, who is really the surprise of the top 5 as we wind down this race. More on Mike. Let's go down to Natalie.
Yeah, it's a surprise for us, but his crew, calm and cool. They're definitely excited about where he's running. They said he's good on fuel. He's feeling good. Just it's all about this restart, especially those S turns. That's where he's planning on picking up a few more spots. So who knows, maybe the S turns will go in his favor.
All right, Natalie, we'll take a watch for that on those S turns. I think we all 3 agree now that the restart here may be the telling story of this race. I just wish they'd hurry up and do it.
Well, that's a tough thing on the road races. 1.5-mile, 2-mile courses sometimes. It just takes a while to get the tracks cleaned up, get cars pulled out of the way, and get back underway. A lot longer than we would on a normal oval track. So, unfortunately, it's a little bit more time-consuming. But once we get back racing here, hopefully within 9 laps to go, everybody will stay pointed in the right direction and could make for some real good racing.
Well, another guy I want to give a call to before the end of this race, James Busch. Every race he shows up at, he runs strong, and despite a spin today, he's running 7th right now.
Well, hats off to James again. He's been back and forth, bouncing back through the field, but 17 years old, James Buscher. Ted Marsh sees something in this young man, and obviously he's got what it takes to keep it up front and possibly take it to the next level.
Well, understand that we'll be going green this time, which is good news. Under 10 laps to go, and hold on for the restart here. Could be fun to watch.
Well, it will. And again, we got some good cars. You got Case and Pardo, who really have fast cars. They're not totally that far off. They're within a couple tenths of a second of the leaders, so they've got the potential to win this race also. So Sean Kaser shaking the car back and forth, third in line.
But now I think we've decided to go one more lap just to make sure all that speedy dry that they've got it off and got a good, clean racetrack to race on. If you're wondering about the points leader, Joey Logano, he spun and went into tire barrier early in the day. Has not been a factor since. So the guys behind him, Matt Kobaluk, Peyton Sellers, going to gain some ground. So too Sean Case, Mike Olson, even though Logano has a healthy lead. After the race today, we told you we'll be in Mansfield, and then we will close out the season with the Busch East Series. We'll be in Loudon, New Hampshire, and Dover, Delaware in the month of September, and races that are in conjunction with the Nextel Cup Series. Ruben Pardo is running 5th right now. Brian Chu there is the car of Jesus Hernandez. He's 10th. Not a bad day for Jesus. Right ahead of him is Anton in the 9th position. Jeffrey Earnhardt running 8th. So Jesus, haven't talked a lot about him today, but the youngster out of Fresno, California, in the Ted Ginn Drive for Diversity programs had a good day today. Started his career running the late models at Irwindale.
Ruben Pardo in the 22 car, Family Dollar, currently running 5th. Brian Chu behind him, 99 car. Got in a little altercation earlier. He's done real well, able to keep the car clean, stay up in that top 10.
How about Jerry Marquis? Spun a couple of times today. He's running 12th. Chase Austin 11th.
The white flag waving back there on the backside of the racetrack, telling the drivers we're going green this time by. They wave the white flag, and there's also a yellow caution light next to them, and that alerts the drivers that they will be taking the green flag on the front straightaway.
Coming down the hill towards that green flag at the start-finish line.
Mike Olson talking on the radio saying, I'm going to get a good start here. Tell Kovaluk, stay behind me.
All right, let's watch this restart. Could be something.
Olson looks like getting
All clear. Watch your inside.
Oh, Kovaluk locks the right front tire up there, but was able to get it pointed in the right direction.
Well, they know the laps are winding down now. Sean Case was not able to pull out like he did before. And they're pretty much single file now as they head through the S's on to what's called the no-name straight. I guess that's a good name for it.
Yes, it is. Olson getting everything out of the car. Now's the time. Within 7 laps to go. These guys are up on the wheel. Getting everything out of the car they can. No more conserving tires. Just give it everything he got. Olson and Kovaluk, before we went yellow there, were within 100th of a second every lap. Mike Olson appears to have a little bit more down the long front straightaway.
Mike Olson has not won a race this year. This could be.
Clear by 4, nice and smooth.
You're listening to his spotter.
Clear by 4, nice and smooth. Oh, trouble towards the back there. Not sure who that was.
Might be Jamie Hayes.
Yep, kind of looked like it.
Might look like the car of Jamie Hayes that slowed down. Local caution there, not a full course caution. So Olson, Kovaluk, and Case stay in the gas.
Got to hit your marks. You got to do everything just right, because one little slip here, you get up in that grass just a little bit high. If Mike slids up, good. Matt Kovaluk right on his bumper there. Take big advantage of that.
Here's where you make the pass on the straightaway, and
the inside.
Kovaluk dives down. Can he get him?
Clear.
Matt Kovaluk has retaken the lead.
Good pass by Matt Kovaluk. He's able to outbrake Mike Olson down in the corner really hard. Nice clean pass.
And there is a puff of dirt. Somebody is off the course. It's a local caution. Brian Chu has gone off the course. He was running in the top 10 in the 6th position.
Kovaluk hitting his marks, driving down in the corner deep. Spotter clear by 2. Reminding them, hit your marks, hit your marks.
We have said all day that that front straightaway is where you get the speed, and then going into that first corner, you're able to make a pass, and that's just what Matt Kovaluk was able to do on Mike Olson.
Set the guy up as you enter the corner and just outbrake him as you drive down in the corner, but you got to keep both them front wheels straight.
Problem. I don't know why they have it out.
Possible caution out. Kovaluk's crew chief spotter telling him. He's hearing word that NASCAR may throw a caution, but they haven't seen it yet.
Well, I don't see a caution flag, so hopefully there won't.
It may have just been a local caution that the spotter was referring to. I think that's what it may have been. He's saying he's got a local caution in that corner.
Under 5 laps to go now. And Matt Kovaluk, fastest car on the racetrack.
3 to go. 3.
You're hearing a spotter who's not only a spotter, but a coach as well, trying to coach him home.
Yep, so important to keep you calm down as a driver.
Kovaluk seems to be extending his lead now over Olson.
Yep, he appears to be just under a 1/10 of a second faster than Mike Olson, so that last lap he was a little bit faster. See Sean Case right in the background there in 3rd. about 0.3 of a second slower than these two cars in front of him, so not sure he's got what it takes to hang with these guys. Again.
Matt Kovaluk for 2 straight years on the pole here. Finished second here last year. Won the race at this track in 2005.
1-4, 2 to go.
This would make him a 2-time winner at Lime Rock if he can bring it home.
Very happy with his car yesterday in practice.
I think the other note that we'll make is that he's also going to retain his lead in the HDNet Performance Award as the overall laps leader. He has led a lot of laps here today.
Made a big gain here today in that for sure. And again, he says, can't say that I'm not watching it. I am watching it because it is a big deal. That HD Performance Award, big bonus for these teams. It's an outstanding award to have as a driver at the end of the year.
Top 5 all in single file. Matt Kovaluk, Mike Olson, Sean Case, Mike Johnson, and Ruben Pardo. James Busher, by the way, has made his way up to 6th.
Jeff Anton running 7th. Jesus Hernandez 8th. Jerry Marquez back up to 9th. And Jeffrey Earnhardt in the top 10.
Here we go, final lap. Can Kovaluk hold on to it?
Plus 3.
3-car length lead through Big Bend, now up through the S's.
I think he's got what it takes. It'd be hard for Mike Olson at this point. Scott Bully gets turned around off course. Appears to be out of the way.
And that's just going to be a local caution. That's Jamie Hayes.
Sliding around.
Matt Kovaluk trying to bring it home for his 2nd career win in Lime Rock.
1-2.
You're listening to a spotter.
Oh, Kovaluk did get a little bit loose there. Oh,
That's
Matt Kovaluk off course. Mike Olson.
Woo! Matt Kovaluk in an unbelievable finish.
Wow, look, not sure what happened there. May have gotten together.
Got a view down there.
Whoa.
Nothing down there.
Oil all over the track. Oil all over the track. I was the first one to hit it. I don't even know how I saved that.
Dude, I couldn't see anything. Awesome job. Awesome. Oh, that was... You are the best, dude. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Wow.
What heartbreak for Mike Olson, though. And as you heard, it was oil dropped down on that track.
I wouldn't have believed that. It's never over till it's over. There's Mike Olson.
Look at Mike Olson in the damaged race car. What a car he had today. What a performance, and really just a couple hundred yards from the finish.
That goes to show you it's just never over till it's over. You got to pass that checkered flag. And man, oh man, anything could happen at any time, and it happened here today.
Matt Kovaluk's 2nd win of the season. He won at South Boston earlier this year.
Use that motor up now. Carl Wagner spec motor in that car. Not sure that's what Carl wants to hear.
Well, as you heard him say, he couldn't believe he saved it.
No.
I thought he'd
Sorry.
gone off the course.
Looked to me like he was out in the dirt. Just a tremendous save there by Kovaluk. And Mike Olson obviously probably had to do a defensive move to keep from hitting Matt. He didn't make out quite as well.
Here it is again. They hit the oil.
Right there, both of them slide right off the racetrack in the grass. Man.
And you heard his spotter say, keep on coming, keep on coming.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson was in the oil.
Ruben Pardo.
And those guys getting in the oil meant that this finish has been really shuffled around.
See Mike Olson in the wall hard, left side impact. Kovaluk and then Pardo.
What a tough break.
Johnson. Wow.
All that spinning meant that Jeff Anton now will get credit with 3rd. Jesus Hernandez 4th, and Jeffrey Earnhardt will get himself a top 5 finish.
Good finish for Jeffrey Earnhardt. Again, guys just stayed back there and kept their nose clean. But Matt Kobaluk, he has got to be one happy camper. You see Sean Case almost caught him. Sean was able to stay out of that oil and keep that car going, and a few more feet there, and I'm not sure Matt would have won the race.
And now we'll figure out what the plan is for Matt Kobaluk. I'm not sure if he's headed to victory lane, or there is more racing that will take place here today at Lime Rock.
See his team there. Got to be excited.
You see all the oil on his windshield.
Yep. There's Sean Case talking to him, telling the story.
He's talking about his elbow hitting the kill switch.
That's what it appeared like. The motor did shut off because it took him a few minutes to get going there, a few seconds there to get that motor back up to speed.
Yeah, that was. You know, and you got to feel good about Matt after what happened to him at Adirondack too, and getting black flagged after having the fastest car there.
Yep, on that last lap. Green-white checker. Led there all night. Unfortunately, did not take it home.
Oh, we see Natalie Taylor over there motioning for Matt to get out of the car, so hopefully he will. If Natalie has any pull, he will.
Matt's a pretty big boy, so
Yeah.
hard to jerk him out of the car.
Well, I think he's getting ready to get out, and when he does, we'll go down to Natalie Taylor. Certainly been an excited crew down there, and again, not really a victory lane because there is more racing to be run here today at Lime Rock Park. Big smile on his face, and here he comes. Let's head down to the celebration. Natalie Taylor is down.
Woo! Celebration indeed. Mike, walk us through, getting through that oil there. I mean, we were all on the edge of our seats. Talk about it from your side.
I'll tell you, I mean, I don't know what happened on that last lap there coming down the hill. I guess some guys blew an engine or something, because I came down the hill and I saw the oil in front of me and I said, oh boy, this is the end of our day. And I hit the oil and I went off course and I was sideways and I'm trying to correct it, and then I hit the kill switch with my elbow and killed the engine. And then I'm floundering on the front stretch. I can't get the thing running. They're telling me go, 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 and I can't get it running. And then I hit the kill switch and it fired. I'll tell you, unbelievable finish to that race. I mean, I hate it from Mike. Mike had a solid second place car there, and to hit oil like that on coming to the checkered flag, you know, that really is that's a sucky ending to a day, no matter how you look at it. And it almost killed our day too. I don't know how I made it through that, but I guess it was our day. Mohegan Sun 200 with the Mohegan Sun car.
Exactly what I was going to ask you, how great it was to win in your sponsored race. But talk about your experience. How much did your experience help, especially in those few laps? I mean, you had to hit your marks.
Yeah, when I was behind Mike, I was struggling a little bit because I'm a better leader than I am a follower, and I'm trying to catch him, and I'm overdriving the corners. I'm not hitting any of my marks. I'm not hitting my braking points. I'm missing my downshift points. I was all screwed up. So the best thing for me was to be out in front. And then I knew I could outbrake Mike coming into turn one, because I just always do that. I mean, I brake a lot deeper than most guys do, and I have a different driving style than Mike. I'm a left foot braker. He's a toe heel right foot braker. So it worked out good for us today, and I'll tell you, what a day.
You know, and obviously coming off the Adirondack race, I mean, you were hungry, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate things happened at Adirondack. We had the winning car there, and this one was decided on the racetrack, and that's the way our races are supposed to be decided, is on the racetrack. So good day for our team. I got to thank Perry and the guys. They always put together a fantastic car for me, and this thing was the best the best that it was from the start to the finish. It never really changed. You know, as the tires wore off, we got a little slower, but when I was out there trying to catch Mike, I didn't bother trying to push it too hard, because I didn't want to burn up the tires trying to catch him. So when I did get there, I'd have something left. And I'll tell you, what a great day for our team in Mohegan Sun.
Well, Dan, Mike, this guy said that this was going to be his race, and he did just that, walking away with the checkered flag. Back to you.
It was an impressive performance, and it was really impressive after he hit that oil, hit the kill switch, tried to get it refired. And now here is the unofficial results. We talked about Jeff Anton, Jesus Hernandez.
Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Those are
look
great
at Jeffrey,
finishes.
nice top 5 finish. James Busher, tremendous finish for him. Ruben Pardo, you know, he had the car to beat early on, but may have used it up, but good top 10 finish for him.
And how about the Irishman? Lawrence Maloney.
Look at that.
Spun a couple of times, but still comes home 10th. Mike Olson recovered from the spin to finish 9th, but he really had the second-place car here today. Peyton Sellers, in his backup car that they converted to a road racing car this week, comes home with an 8th finish that I know he'll be happy with. Sean Case finishes 2nd, and he's with Natalie.
Sean, we saw your head in the car there of Matt Kobluk after the victory. I mean, that was a crazy end.
Yeah, it certainly was. My hats was off to Andy Santerre. He told me to back her down. There's oil in the final corner. So I slowed up, and I was trying to be careful because Mike Johnson, somebody, I think Ruben Pardo, was behind me, and they were coming in a hurry. And so I backed down a little bit and got sideways to the whole corner. I saw Olson go flying into the fence, and then Kobluk's way out in the grass, and I'm full pedal to the metal. And I tell you what, the start-finish line was another 100 feet further. We would have had a shot at that win.
Well, restarts are your thing. I mean, you were definitely able to jump up a lot of spots on that. That's what was able to get you here in second?
Yeah, it certainly was. We had trouble in qualifying. We had to start dead last. We had to change transmissions and stuff. So to be able to come from dead last, there's no scratch in the car right now. Actually, there's a scratch one right there. But, just to come back like that just shows how strong our team is. We've had 2 seconds in a row. We went 4 straight weeks in a row of having some bad luck. So I think we're turning it back around. It was a good points day for us. And, my goal coming in here was top 5 of the Casella Waste System Chevrolet, and we came out here with second place finish.
Okay, and my last question, talking with you earlier, Andy, your crew chief, like you said, has had a lot of experience here, has had 2 wins here, 2 seconds. To be able to come in here, you said that it was all a driver's race, and he tells you just to stay calm. That relationship sure helped you.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, the beginning of the race, you're way back, and you're a lot faster than the cars around you. And the tough place about Lime Rock is it's real narrow and it's hard to pass, so you get frustrated pretty quick if you're not having a cool head. So Andy was coaching me the whole race, and that's why I thank him tremendously, him and my team, for coaching me through this race, and to get a top 3 podium finish is pretty sweet for us.
Well, before the race, this guy said he just wanted the points, and he's definitely taken a lot away from today.
Indeed he has, and Matt Kobluk's going to gain a lot in the points too, with Joey Logano, the points leader, having trouble early in the race. Boy, it's going to make that race now as we head to Mansfield, Ohio, really, really interesting as far as the points are concerned.
Well, it is, and the veteran out of Matt Kobluk, it really showed here today. He used his head, he used patience, he used the race car when he needed to, and he needed it right at the end there, and did a great job of holding on to that race car right at the very end. And hats off to Matt Kobluk. But Andy Santerre for making that call to Sean Case, hey, there's oil in the corner, slow down, slow down. Could have put him in victory lane. I mean, he was within 50 to 100 feet of victory lane. So also my hats off to Andy Santerre for slowing his driver down that last lap and telling him that there's oil in the straightaway. He was able to recognize that.
12th career win. There's Andy Santerre.
I was yelling all the time.
You hear him tell him I was yelling at my driver, watch that oil.
Screaming at him, telling him. But, that's a sign of a veteran. He's seen it. Must have been a car that come through there and oiled that track down there earlier, just right before them cars came through, and he was smart enough to get on the radio. And that's a gutsy move to tell your driver to slow down to that corner.